Even from Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy, purport. Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan. Throughout the Gita, Bhagavan is ultimate in the absolute truth. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman or impersonal, all-pervasive spirit, Paramatma or the localized aspect of the Supreme, and Bhagavan or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the conception of absolute truth is explained thus: Vedanti tattva vidas tattvam, yajnanam advayam, brahmeti, paramatmeti, bhagavan iti shabdaya. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding by the knower of the absolute truth, and all of them are identical. Such phases of the absolute truth are expressed as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These three divine aspects can be explained by the example of sun, which has three different aspects, namely the sunshine, the sun's surface, and sun planet itself. One who studies the sunshine only is preliminary student. One who understands the sun's surface is further advanced, and one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students were satisfied by simply understanding the sunshine, its universal pervasiveness, and the glaring effulgence of its impersonal nature may be compared to those who can realize only the Brahman feature of the absolute truth. The student who has advanced still further can know the sun disk, which is compared to the knowledge of the Paramatma feature of the absolute truth. And the student who can enter into the heart of the sun planet is compared to those who realize the personal feature of the supreme absolute truth. Therefore, the bhaktas or the transcendentalists who have realized the Bhagavan feature of the absolute truth are the topmost transcendentalist. Although all students who are engaged in the study of the absolute truth are engaged in the same subject matter, the sunshine, the sun disk, and the inner affairs of the sun planet cannot be separated from one another, and yet the students of the three different phases are not the same category. The Sanskrit word Bhagavan is explained by great authority, Parashar Muni, the father of Yashdev. Supreme Personality of Godhead who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation is called Bhagavan. There are many persons who are very rich, very powerful, very beautiful, very famous, very learned, and very much detached, but no one can claim that he possesses all riches, all strength, etc. entirely. Only Krishna can claim this because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No living entity, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Narayana, can possess opulences as fully as Krishna. Therefore, it is concluded in Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma himself that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is equal to or above him. He is the primeval Lord or Bhagwan, known as Govinda, and is the supreme cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karanakara. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme because no one can excel him. He is a supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord Govinda and the cause of all causes. In Bhagavatam also there is a list of many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Krishna is described as the original personality of Godhead, from whom many incarnations and personalities of Godhead expand. He te cham sakalapumsham Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyani Vyakulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge. All the lists of incarnations of the Godhead submitted herewith are either plenary expansions or parts of the plenary expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He Himself. Therefore, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, Sumam Bonum, the source of both Super Soul and the impersonal Brahman. In the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna's lamentation for his kinsman is certainly unbecoming. Therefore, Krishna expressed his surprise with the word Kuta, wherefrom such impurities were never expected from a person belonging to the civilized class of men known as Aryans. The word Aryan is applicable to persons who know the value of life and have a civilization based on spiritual realization. Persons who are led by material conception of life do not know that the aim of life is the realization of the absolute truth, Vishnu or Bhagavan, and they are captivated by the external feature of the material world. Therefore, they do not know what liberation is. Persons who have no knowledge of liberation from the material bondage are called non-Aryans. Although Arjuna was a Kshatriya, he was deviating from his prescribed duties by declining to fight. This act of cowardice is described as befitting the non-Aryans. Such deviation from duty does not help one in the progress of spiritual life, nor does it even give one the opportunity to become famous in this world. Lord Krishna did not approve the so-called compassion of Arjuna for his kinsman. So here, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is speaking for the first time, Srila Prabhupada so mercifully explaining the importance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is giving a synopsis of who this person is and who is he representing. Is he a normal person? What kind of person he is? Before he's going into the issue which Arjuna is currently facing, is explaining the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is very important. Why? Let's say before we go somewhere, we try to find where we are going. Let's say we wanted to go to a store or to a mall. You check whether whatever you're looking in that store or mall is present in that. And if it is present, is it of a good quality or not? Once you finalize, once you confirm online that everything is good, then you go to the store or the mall and purchase it. Just to purchase something, you review so much. Here, first time Supreme Personality of Godhead is speaking. Kutasva vishame visamupastitam anarya justam asvargam akirtikana karam. Anarya, persons who do not know the value of life. Arya means persons who know the value of life. Anarya is opposite. Let's say if a person who knows the value of life, his dealings in this world will be totally different. Everyone is living. A person who knows the value of life is called as deemed as Arya. They also live. But here Krishna is mentioning Anarya Justam Aswargam. He's telling Akirtikaram Arjuna. Arjuna, you're a great person. How come these impurities? Anarya. That means person who doesn't know the value of life. No. Person who doesn't know the value of life, why are you lamenting for that to be not for that not to be lamented? Look at the standards of the Lord. His standards are high. And before jump into the standards, the Lord, Srila Prabhupada, so mercifully explaining the greatness, the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means Whatever he does, whatever he do, whatever he eats, wherever he goes, it's all transcendental. Now, how is whatever he does, everything is transcendental? Because if you see this entire nation, everything which we see, which we do not see also, everything is actually driven through his will. Now, an interesting observation is see through the life of Pandavas. Now we all know they're going through so many difficulties. They went through so many difficulties. We see our beloved acharyas, they went through so many difficulties in their life. But one thing, if you see in all of them, the acceptance or understanding Krishna is a source of everything and leading their life according to that, that never diminished. The difficulties might have come. Now, one devotee difficulty level is different to the other devotee's difficulty level. Prahlad Maharaj's difficulty is one level. Mandava's difficulty is another level. Our beloved Guru Parampara, our acharyas, their difficulties are another level. That means situation, circumstances, position might be different. But one thing in all of them which you see is staunch devotion, love, respect towards the Lord. That means no matter what is happening, things externally, situation might be different, but the heart and heart, their feeling are unimaginable. That means sadhaka who is actually practicing Krishna consciousness, we cannot understand what the no, not even if sadhaka did what. Any person in this world, he knows what how his heart is reacting. He can tell whether he is doing this honestly or not. Another person he cannot understand, or somebody else he cannot understand. Likewise, the depth or the acceptance of the Lord or the knowledge which is perceived through the science of Krishna consciousness, that is different to everyone. One person's understanding will not be same to the other person. Now, how do we know that one person's understanding is not same to the other person? The way how they react to this world, the way how they are leading their life, the way how they are reciprocating to certain circumstances or situations in their life. Now we see the same example of Lord. When Krishna descended into this world, no, he dealt with Brijavasis in one way. He dealt with Pandavas in another way. He dealt with the people of the people who came to the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Lord dealt with them also. He dealt Pandavas who are there on the Pandava side in one way, who are there in the Kaurava side in they are he dealt with them in another way. Might be indirect, but his presence is we don't see missing of his presence. That is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. The Lord can be perceived at three levels: through sun rays, through sun disk, and the sun planet. Now everyone is there are three schools. Everyone will study that. But the outcome or the output which three different schools are receiving, they will be different. But the conception is same. It's like absolute truth is same. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Three of them fall under the correct category of absolute truth only. But study of Brahman, study of Paramatma, study of Bhagavan will yield different results. Just like one student is studying 8th grade, another is ninth, another is 10th. All three are studying only. All three demarcate students only. But one person is 8th, one person is ninth, other person is 10th. And we even within that, if the person is in the school of 10th and he's not studying, will he get any benefit? Likewise, if a person is actually following the path of bhakti, but he's not practicing, will he make sense? Will it make sense to him? It will not make sense. That means for him, bhakti is different compared to person who is actually practicing. Prabhupada here very beautifully comparing the synopsis like this. Three different schools, three different pathways. All three are absolute truth, but their results are different. Likewise, even within that one school, if a person is not taking as per the words of what Lord wanted to teach us, that is what exactly is happening here. Na? Anare justam ashvargam. Now Arjuna is in the school of bhakti only. Arjuna is actually trying to assess. But what is happening here is he is seeing the path of devotion in his own vision. He is not seeing the path of devotion in the vision of the Lord. This is a very primary, prominent difference. That means he's in the school, he's in this school only, but he's pursuing in a different way. That means in the school of bhakti or in the school of the process of Krishna consciousness, what is happening is if we deal with our understanding, with our lens, with our so-called intelligence, what will happen is he will be baffled. Just like Arjuna is baffling up. Anari Justom first instruction Krishna. First instruction is tell. Anari Justom Aswargam. No, another thought will come. Okay, Krishna is telling Arjuna as Anarya Justam Aswargam. That means Krishna is demarcating Arjuna, telling Arjuna is that you do not understand the value of life. What does it mean? That means Arjuna is speaking a lot about dharma, about Varnashram dharma, about Varna Sankara, about so-called degrading of society, about leaving his life, taking renunciation. Arjuna is speaking all of this. The Arjuna want to take renunciation also. That means Krishna, if one person, one side, the person is telling, I want to take renunciation, but now you are telling that you don't know the value of life. How does it correlate? Arjuna is telling, I want to take renunciation. I don't want anything of this world. Dhana Jana Sundari. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever is saying, Arjuna wanted to come to that plane. Arjuna is in that state only. Yes, yes, my dear Lord, don't want any of these things. But the way he is doing is different. I'll tell another aspect here. For example, dear devotees, let's say you're in a group of community, practicing devotees. And in that community, let's say everyone in the community, they follow four regular principles. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. Okay? They chant Hare Krishna, 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra every day. And now this is common to everyone. Now what is different is as the individual is different, his services are also different. Now what one person has been told, you take care of the calf, you take care of the cows. The other person is told you do agriculture. The other person is being told, you do Anija, this is a shop, you take care of the shop. The other person is being told, you serve here one day, you serve here for a few months, you serve here for a few months, you serve here for a few months. Wherever there is a need and necessary, you change your gears. The other person is being told, you practice the science of Krishna consciousness. That means you read the scriptures, understand, assess, and then try to inspire yourself, and then if possible try to give inspiration to others. If you see all these 4 or 5 categories of people, commonality is what? They chant Hare Krishna and follow 16 rounds of Hare Krishna. They chant Hare Krishna and follow 4 radio principles. Okay? But the services which they are doing is different. But if you actually see, all those services, they are actually helping that sadhaka to practice his science of Krishna consciousness. What is that science of Krishna consciousness? To follow 4 principles. What is that? The service which he is doing is helping him to do that. But the service is different, right? This is one thing, right? Please keep this in mind. But what is happening is, next, if the person who's actually following these things, he doesn't want to follow and he doesn't want to serve. Through that doesn't want to follow, doesn't want to follow, doesn't want to serve, at that moment, he's telling, I don't want anything. Because he doesn't want to do it. He don't want anything. Please understand here. It's very interesting. It's very important. If you understand this, one thing is he doesn't want to do, then he's telling, I don't want to do. That means it seems like he's coming to the state of renunciation, but it is not renunciation. The real renunciation is what? Even though if everything is given to him, he should give it up. That is real renunciation. The renunciation which we have seen in the life of Parikshit Maharaj. Everything is been given to him. But the moment again, he gave up everything. That is a real science. But here what is happening is Arjuna didn't want to do that. That is why to come out of that, he's telling that I don't want to do this. On one side, he's been told to do this, just like on one side, we've been told to do the service. As we don't want to do this, we proclaim that I'm not interested. So what is this indicating? One side, our heart doesn't want to do. But externally, how are we propagating? Externally, we are propagating that I really don't want to do this because I want to renunciate everything. But fact that the renunciation is done is not the real renunciation. The renunciation is a surface. That means there's a problem. That's why you don't want to do. If the problem is removed, you're ready to do. That means is that renunciation in the right state? That let's say if the problem is there, you're telling you'll not do it. But if the problem is removed, still you will go and do it. If the problem is removed, still also you should not do it. That is a real renunciation. Huh? That means irrespective of the situation. That means if the problem is there or not there, doesn't matter. I will not do it. That is a real renunciation. But Arjuna's renunciation is not that state. That is why Krishna is propagating Anarya Justam Aswargam. That means what is the impurity? The impurity, Krishna is actually not seeing what he's speaking. Please understand. Likewise, our spiritual master, Acharya, they don't see what we are speaking or what we are doing. They will see our intent behind that. They will see why we are speaking that. If my motive is to put the other person on, or if my motive is to gain something, or if my motive is to show something, or if my motive is something else, anything else which is against the lines of Krishna consciousness, that will never give anything actually. That means I might do like this for thousands of lifetimes, that will not give me any benefit. That means if I am doing it only to please my own self and propagating that I want to become renunciate, that will not help. That means even the renunciation should be for the pleasure of the Lord. Everything they devote is there cannot be anything an exception. Everything has to be done for their pleasure only. One cannot do anything for one's own pleasure. Krishna is clearly telling here, Anarya Justam Aswargam. That means, let's say, if a person is telling, I don't want money, I don't want this, We should see why that person doesn't want money, why that person doesn't want this. If his motive is to come out of that to serve the Lord, rather, let's say the motive is to simply avoid so-called material disturbance in this world. That means, oh, the work is very difficult. Oh, people will put me down. Or this will happen to me, that will happen to me. That's why I don't want to work. That is not real renunciation. Please understand here. Just like Arjuna doesn't want to fight because he doesn't want to kill Bhishmadev. But means if Bhishmadev is not there, he will kill. Please understand. If Bhishmadev is not there, he would have started the battle. He would have started the war. If Dronacharya is not there, he would have started the war. But Bhishmadev, Dronacharya are there. That's why he's not fighting. That means if Bhishmadev, Dronacharya are not there, you'll fight. Yes, he'll fight. That means, do you see conflict of interest? The difference of opinion? That means based on situations and circumstances. This is exactly we see in this material world, right? If one person, if you're getting some benefit from him, you will speak nicely to him. We'll speak nicely to them. How are you doing? But if we do not get any benefit from that person, do we speak nicely to them? We don't speak. Why? Because the speaking is based on a motive. For example, the respect is also based on a motive. For example, I might give a respect to this Vaishnava. Why? Because he will give me some service. After giving service, I will not respect him. That means the respect which you are giving to him, is that real respect? That is not real respect. If that is not real respect, do you think that Krishna will be pleased? Krishna will not be pleased. How Krishna is not pleased with Arjuna, he will not pleased with us also. Please try to understand. That means situation-based understanding is not right. Circumstance-based understanding is not right. That means that respect or that devotion or whatever we are manifesting, we should understand why am I doing this. Every moment we should understand that why, क्यों कर रहे हैं? Why are we doing this? What is the motive behind this? You see how important this aspect is because Krishna is first bringing up this only in Gita. Please understand, before telling that you are not this body but a powerful spiritual, Krishna wanted to correct the root. Then he is giving the knowledge. See, you are not this body but a powerful spirit. It's a knowledge which comes later. But before that knowledge has to be happening, before that knowledge has to kick in into our consciousness, the root thing has to be addressed. Krishna is addressing the root. Arjuna, you are speaking all of these things because you have an attachment to your parents or your family members, whatever it is, whatever it might be. That has to be addressed. If that is not addressed, irrespective, no matter how many wars you fight, your heart will not be satisfied. Because let's say uh, out of Kshatriya Dharma, let's say just begin fighting. But if the root is not addressed, let's say if he lost in the battle, will he be happy? He will not be happy. Likewise, we might be chanting Hare Krishna for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. But if the root is not addressing, then will that chanting go? If the mind is continuously telling in the background, "Oh, why are you chanting?" We should know the answer, why are we chanting? Now, if the mind is telling, "Oh, why are you eating this?" You should know the answer. We should tell the mind, why am I eating this? The mind says, why are you getting up early in the morning? We should have the reason for that. That means at every step, we should know the reasons. What is the reason? What is the benefit? Why am I doing this? Now, if I know the transcendental qualities of the Lord, then my mind or my intelligence or at every level or completely the consciously, we are actually dealing with that only. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. I'm doing it for his happiness, not doing it for anything else. No, this is a real motive. That is the whole point why Krishna is telling Arjuna that Anari Justam Aswargam. How can I do this? How can I do this with you? What is the motive? Why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? Now, Srila Prabhupada has been asked this question, why did you come to America? Prabhupada has a very clear understanding. That means at every step it's been questioned again and again. Internally, externally. Do you think that internally questions are not coming? Every moment internally also questions are coming. No, Prabhupada is answering all those questions. He's addressing the heart. And he's actually sharing that to everyone also. Please understand. That means whatever he's addressing inside, he's sharing that externally also. The moment that is manifested, everyone got attracted. This is what purity means. Purity means what? Both internal, external, both are same. What? How the person will not be duplicitous? You know how to find a person is a duplicitous or not? He cannot put eye to eye contact and tell. Because the person knows he's cheating. He cannot put eye to eye contact. He's not bold. He's speaking, but he has problem in the heart. Here Arjuna is speaking, but his speaking is not real speaking. His speaking will come after his submission. You'll see the speaking of Arjuna later through bold questions to Krishna. Oh, Krishna. See, now Krishna, he gives the synopsis of Gita in chapter 2, later on at the 11th chapter. Now, Arjuna proclaims another beautiful question, telling Krishna, oh, you told me that impersonalism and path of devotional service are two paths. But can you also tell me which one is better? Now, what is happening? You see, Arjuna's questions are different now. His question is not asking the question which he discussed in chapter 1. Please understand. No, those Krishna is already addressed. But his questions are now totally different. Because what is happening? He has seen the truth. Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashita. That means when the transcendental knowledge goes into the heart, the duplicity is taken away. Please understand. Because at every moment he gets the clarity, why am I doing this? And then the questions is also based on that. That leads to devotee. That leads to bhakti. How is the Lord is so magnanimous through this way? Because his understanding is totally different from this world. Please understand this. Dear devotees, one thing we need to understand. What is that one thing is, which we began our conversation. Every devotee's difficulties are different. Every devotee's realizations are different. Every devotee's understanding are unique and different. But the commonality, the staunch faith towards the Lord and His pure souls are unique. How is that? Right from Prahlad Maharaj in Satyuga up until Srila Prabhupada and his followers. All the devotees from that point until this point, they went through difficulties. Their realizations, but they get those. But if you see through those difficulties, they get beautiful realizations and reflections in their heart. And then through that realizations, what is happening? Anarya Justam. What is happening? From Anarya Justam state, they are coming to the state of Arya. Because they know the purpose of, they know the essence and the purpose of this life. That means they're crying, they're fearing, they're accepting anything is totally different. They are here in this world only. But their acceptance, their understanding is totally aloof from this world. How? Because of their conviction in their heart, because of their love towards the Lord. Just like Mother Sita, she was kept in a very difficult state, but she was not troubled. It's unimaginable, tormenting state. But she simply did it for the pleasure of the Lord. This is bhakti. No complaints. You can keep me in whatever situation you want, my dear Lord, but always give me that conviction that I'm your dasa, 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 dasa. If this conviction I have, then I'll stick to this process, this moment, and then move forward. Because this is the only thing which is benefiting me. Who is that me? The soul which is sitting in the heart. And that soul will get the energy from this process. That means the Shravana Shakti, the Shravana Kirtana, what it does is it gives that energy to the process. So it's very, very important, dear devotees. The last paragraph, if Srila Prabhupada is writing, we didn't go into the details of it, but it is very important. Every individual will go through this. Every individual has to go through. And through that going through, they grow through. Turbulences will come, insecurities, inabilities, they all will come. How am I reacting in those situations? What am I doing in my life through those situations? Is my faith towards the Lord is increasing, or I'm straying away from the process? Two things. We practice Krishna consciousness and move forward, or we go back in the process of Krishna consciousness, thinking that we are in the process. Two things will happen. No one can stay in a particular moment. Devotee cannot be stagnated. There is no question of stagnation in the life of devotee. If he has devotion, he will move forward. If he doesn't have devotion, he will come back. As simple as that. That devotion is given to us by these personalities, by the words of the acharyas, by the mercy of the spiritual master. Service to them, submitting ourselves to them. That's how we transform our consciousness from anarya to arya. That is very important. And then we'll discuss further about this tomorrow. How do we transform our consciousness from anarya to arya? Just like how Arjuna maintained his calibrated state, his perfect condition through the difficulties, turbulence in his life. It's the greatest turbulence in his life. How is he reacting to that? And then how we should react in our life, because exactly how Arjuna is doing, we should exactly repeat. We should not do anything new. Prabhupada says you shouldn't do anything new. Whatever your spiritual masters, if you just follow, that's it. Exactly. Doesn't matter from which lifetime, which we were a dog, cat, doesn't matter. What we are now, that is what matters. That means Arya to Arya is easy. It's not a difficult thing. But for that, holding to the process is very vital. Hare Krishna. Stop here. I have a hard stop today. Anyone would like to add quickly? Quickly add. Otherwise, we'll stop it here. Hare Krishna. So this thing we need to understand in our life. What is the thing? What is the most important thing? What is the most important thing? Practice of Krishna consciousness. There is nothing else actually in this world. You see, greatest difficulties can be solved through the science of Krishna consciousness. You should always think, Arjuna's difficulty is the greatest difficulty. No one will face that kind of a difficulty, just how Arjuna is facing. It's a tormented state. Now that state also, Arjuna he easily comes out of that. That coming out of that state is so important. Because, for example, the devotee, if you're going through a difficult state, and then somebody is coming and helping us, and then after that, what is happening is, don't we give life to them? Yes, we give life to them. That's what exactly what happened. What happened? Everyone who came to the moment of Krishna consciousness, whose life really transformed, they gave their life after that. Because they really felt that my life got transformed through this association. Because they felt, just like how Arjuna felt, they all felt in their life. And then surrender came naturally, selflessness came naturally, love, affection, they all came naturally. Calm, growth, love, moha, matsya, they don't stay, they don't have any place for that. because they understand this life is meant for them. How? Because they came from a turbulent state to non-turbulent state. That means even after that turbulence is coming, he knows what to do because he's experienced the state of turbulence. Because Arjuna's turbulence will happen later also. The moment Krishna left this material world, Arjuna was there here. At the time, he was profusely lamenting, but he understood. He understood because he also lamented when at the stage of Kurukshetra, he lamented. He understood. Then he realized, oh, then he remembered all the words which he learned. This is devotion. Bhakti is this only. Very important. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Thank you all very much.
Krishna Prabhuji, Gadot Pranam. Thank you very much. Yesterday I was hearing from Radheshyam Prabhu's lecture that any material problems we are trying to solve is like taking painkillers, and only when we take the actual medicine, it'll really solve the problem, because otherwise if you just take painkillers, it won't solve the problem. Thank you.
Exactly. Hare Krishna. To understand the real problem, figure out that problem, and then come out of it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhu, on the Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so very much for Prabhu. It's very hard to share few, but but you have a limited time. So Prabhu, thank you so very much. So remembering the message of the spiritual master and doing according to what is being suggested, not just the physical level, like a service in a physical level, but subtle as well. In a particular situation, how should we react to it in a subtle way also, right? When dealing with others. So Prabhu, if we do act in a way that pleases the spiritual master, but the situations do not always come in a way that we expect. So at that point, yes, we understand not every situation will be in a way that we expect. So should we just let it go? I for sure know, okay, I responded in a way that my spiritual master likes it, because that's what I hear in the message. However, it did not, or it was taken, it was done in a way that not what I was expecting. So yes, we will let it go, but eventually it will not be obviously it's not in a right direction. So it will come again, come again, come again. Again we respond in a way that we hear the message. So should we just let it go every time that way?
It depends on the circumstances, depends on the situation.
Mm,
If the situation is very important, then we should deal that situation. So Arjuna's situation is very important, right? It's a
mm,
life and death situation. If that situation which we are going through, that is very important, definitely we should. So we should understand what we should let go. We should understand what we should hold.
mm,
That comes through experience. So if it is not that important, we should let go.
mm,
Because we should give importance to the relationship
mm,
rather than rather than that. But if it is very important, then we should discuss nicely. We should share.
mm,
I heard from very senior Vaishnav. If there is a problem, you discuss. You share the problem.
Mm.
Because unless and until the problem is shared and discussed, the other person will not understand. Because not every person will be on same state or same plane. So we
Mm.
should share and discuss. When we share and discuss what is happening, then we are actually telling that this is the right way. Then you're conveying the message, right? So that
Yes.
sharing is very important. We cannot let go at every moment. If it is very important, we have to sit and discuss.
Mm.
If the situation is not changing, we should try to see what can be changed from our side so that the situation can be the worsened situation can be reduced.
Mm.
So whatever best is there from our side, we should try to do that through that discussion. And then the discussion should also be based on Guru Sadhu Shastra.
Mm.
We should be clear. Because now that everyone is hearing from your family, you should actually, sit and discuss together that this is what I think. If you fail, let us do this. Let us do this. This will be beneficial. You have to give the opinions. You have to give the choices. So that way, everyone is understanding the gravity and the importance of this. That way we can come out of it. That is the best solution which we should do. Generally, what happens is through the false ego, we don't convey it to the other person. But when we begin conveying to them, then we will understand, "Arey, yaar, they are thinking far better than me.
Mm.
They're like they also have this thing." Then we come together on a common platform and then deal that situation. That's how we should do. Very important.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you so very much. One
And
thing for
let's
sure is if we remember the message on what we are hearing attentively, the response, the response, the way we respond to the situation definitely changes, and the result which comes in with that response, no matter whether it comes in our way or it doesn't, that frustration will not come for sure. That's a huge
exactly. So when
change.
you hear attentively, what happens is you'll not be frustrated through the situations.
Mm.
That's a great blessing which our acharyas wanted to give us. We deal the situation, we just move on. We don't dwell with the situation. Just like that, there were two brahmacharis, they're going, and then one Mataji was fell into the water. One brahmachari, he has seen, he wanted to help her, he immediately picked her up. In brahmachari, they don't touch Mataji, but he picked her up and then he kept it aside and then he started walking. That's it. He helped her and then he cleared that situation, he went away. But the other person is thinking about that. अरे क्यों पकड़ा क्यों पकड़ा क्यों पकड़ा That means the person who catched, he's not remembering, but the other person is remembering. That means the problem will we will see that as a problem when we are dwelling on it. Please understand.
Mm.
And we don't when we are not dwelling on it, we should understand, is it problem to be dwelt? See, every problem is temporary here. We try to solve it and then move forward. We
Mm.
don't have to dwell too much on it. When we begin dwelling too much on it, that's when the consciousness is disturbed. Disturbed in the sense it will be polluted because that is not giving us anything actually.
Mm.
So we should be very careful how we are dealing also. That's why you should discuss, come out of the common solution, and then move forward. Hare Krishna. I
Got
should
it,
also
Prabhu.
move
Thank you
forward.
so
We'll
much.
continue this tomorrow. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.